Hello again. Today we're going to tie this little grayling bug's little pink tag tied on a jig hook. So I'll fish that way up in the water, and I'll normally use this on the point if I'm fishing a team of flies. It's got a copper tungsten bead at the front. I'll explain everything else as we go. Just pop this one out of ice. Knock that off. Thread is a fluoro pink, and it's UTC in 70, and we're just gonna run that down. That's a 3mm tungsten copper bead on there. Where have I put my scissors? There they are. Right, so for the tag, this is just pink acrylic wool. And what I actually do, I think there's 4 fibres in here, and I'll take one of them out because I don't need it as thick as all 4. And then I'm just going to tie that in. Just tie that in opposite the barb. We'll just catch that right on top of the shank. And then run the thread up, trying to keep it. I'm using my left hand to pull the wool tight so I can get myself a nice even body all the way up to sort of just before that bead. It helps just to keep all the body nice and neat. We're just going to tidy that end bit up. And now length of the tail, what I do is I fold it back and I put the scissors on the eye and I just cut. And that's the length of the tail. And then, oh, probably shouldn't have done that. Anyway, sorry for the camera wobble. Just get a brush and just brush all this wool out, basically. I mean, the fish will do this for you on the bank, but just brush it out and there's your tail. It's lovely. I'll try not to wobble the camera again. In fact, I'm going to put that there. Okay. So now the tail's in, we're going to tie in a copper wire. Just going to make sure there's wax on my thread. And again, we're going to tie it in on top, and I'm just going to push the end of the copper wire into that bead, catch it. Just going to shorten my working thread. Just going to poke it in the bead to help steady it. I'm going to catch it and try as best you can to keep the wire on top of the shank. With all the weight then is on the bottom, well, what will be the bottom. And we'll come back. And now dubbing, this is just hare's mask, and it's all the fur off exactly that, the hare's mask. And I've just picked it all off the mask and I've blended it up all together, the ears, the mask itself, the lot. And we're just gonna dub that onto the thread. It's not too bad to dub this dubbing. Don't worry, by the way, if you can see some of that pink thread shining through this dubbing, it's it all adds to the fly. Don't think, oh, I've got to put more dubbing on because I can see the pink doodah. I can see the pink thread underneath it. Don't worry about it. So we just dub that up. Doo-dee-doo. When you come around with the copper wire 4 or 5 times, there's 4, just like that. Tie that off. Just come round. And then as usual with wire, we wiggle, 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 wiggle. And there we go. We're just going to have a little bit of a tidy up here. And now we're going to tie in the feather. Now this is just a badger neck. It's this one here. I'm not sponsored by this guy. I don't think I've ever met him, but Ollie's Hackles, whoever Ollie is. But thanks, mate. It's a beautiful badger neck. So I'm just going to remove most of the darker stuff at the bottom because I want the lighter stuff really. So I'm just going to tie that on, nice and neat. Get that stem, trim. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit of wax just to reinforce the wax. It really does help with grip, by the way. Now we'll pick up the dreaded hackle pliers. Okay, place your bets now. How many times is it going to slip out? And we're going to do 1, 2. Just have a look. There's 3. We're going to come round into that 4th. Hey, there we go. Shouldn't have come round into that 4th turn, should I? We all knew that was going to happen. Right, let me just grab it again. Come round again. 1, 2, 3. Now come kind of into that 4th turn, but not quite. Tie that off. The irony of it is normally, if they slip out the pliers, which they always do with me, they tend to sit better that second time. Now we're going to pull everything back, and we're just going to snap the thread. Wow, we're doing really well today, aren't we? Excellent. Now, this thread, by the way, just I'm going to excuses now, all right? It's a bit knackered. This whole bobbin is a bit knackered. So occasionally what happens is it gets stuck. And then obviously I try and wind, not realising it's been stuck in it, and it snaps. But like we said before, if that happens, don't panic, don't panic. Just rethread your bobbin. So all you got to do is rethread your bobbin. And then once you've rethreaded your bobbin, you can just basically tie over that. And there's no difference tying in a thread or tying in a wire or tying in a hackle or anything like that. Like I've said before, I could start these videos again, but I don't, because if any fly tyer ever tells you they never snap threads, now and again, they're lying. Either that or I'm really rubbish at this. I don't snap a lot. So we fold that back, and we've come in and we've caught the other thread, and we've just got rid of any bits we don't like. I've got a tiny bit of that thread there I don't like. With the tip of the hackle, as long as you've tied it in right, you can just snap it away. Now I'm going to have a little bit of a tidy up, because we've had a bit of shenanigans, haven't we? So just make sure it's all tied in lovely. And now we're going to take another piece of the hare's mask dubbing. Dub this in, and obviously it's going to be a bit thicker. Okay, just because we're up this end, sort of thoracic end. We dub that in, and again, don't worry if you can see the pink thread. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more dubbing to this. Don't worry if you can see the pink thread through it. It really doesn't matter. So I want a nice chunky thorax, and now I'm going to bring the thread to the front, and as usual with these smaller flies, I like to just put a bit of varnish onto the thread itself and then whip finish through that varnish. Okay, and that's the easiest way I've found of doing it. And again, right up by the thingy, I'm doing lots and lots of turns only because I want a little bit of that pink thread showing as a little bit of a collar. Okay, and there we have it. There is a little pink tag grayling bug. It's nothing fancy. It's certainly not going to go on a front cover of a magazine or something like that. Tail's a little bit long. I'm just going to trim it. There we go. And there we have it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If there's any flies you'd like to see me tie, or if there's any flies you'd like to see me snap the thread on, do leave a comment in the comments box, and I'll see if I can get round to tying your suggestions. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.